Well, the tiller's had it. This is the crankcase, and I can stick my finger in there. There's a big hole in the crankcase there. Something definitely blew up in there and punched a hole in there. That's not supposed to be like that. I'm not supposed to be able to stick my finger in the crankcase, but had plenty of oil. It was running great. Had it running about half wide open, a little less, and loud pop, and well, no more go. She went kaput. So, yep, that's not good. Moment of silence for the tiller. All right. Now we got to figure out how to get back to work, and since I don't have a tiller anymore, oh well, that sucks. All right. Well, this is the fun you get when the tiller blows up. You got to start doing this by hand. And busting through rocks like this is no fun, but it's part of it, I guess. So what we're doing is we're attempting to level the grade of the land a little bit. It's so high up over here and so down low over there. We're trying to take a little bit of that height off so that we can run our walls without having to build the ground up too much, but we have to tear it down. What's easier, tearing it down or building it up? So if you ever wondered how your grandparents or your great-great-great-great-grandparents got things done, how they ate, how they planted food, how they dug through the rocks to get their crops into the ground. I mean, some people had ox or cattle or horses with pull sleds, but some people had to literally get out here and bust up the ground like this. You know, even today, most people wouldn't do it like this. I wouldn't be doing it like this, but the motor on the tiller blew up, so I've got a big hole in the casing, engine casing, where the piston rod snapped in half. So we got part of it done with the tiller, but so much for technology.
You got twice as much done without it.
Yeah, I think I struggled more with the tiller, but tiller was getting in the way. So this will be our workout for today, pretty much.
A little bit of plyometrics, a little bit of shoulder work.
So I've got to work on my form.
Apparently, according
Knees
to my
bent,
brother.
back is straight.
So says my brother.
Chop, pull, chop, pull.
It's for you, Kenneth.
Kenneth, is that good enough form for you? Chop, pull. Notice the straightness of my back. You're not. So.
Love you, fam.
More more flagstone. This
So
is the
Albert's
stuff.
been over here working in this little line right on the edge, building a trench on both sides of it, which is where the wall will go. And he's encountered nothing but flagstone.
All this.
So all right here
This
is
is
a
all.
shit ton of flagstone. I'm lapping him on a surface area, but he's putting in 3 times more effort because those rocks suck to get out.
I'm loosening it up for her. Is what I'm doing.
I'm gonna shovel it and put it in the wheelbarrow.
But luckily, the sun is behind the clouds today.
It wasn't earlier, though, was it?
When it comes from behind that big cloud,
Woo.
it's going to get hot here. So we're trying to work between cloud cover and
Right.
sunshine.
So one of the things in a previous video we talked about was delays, adapting, and patience. That's kind of been our mantra out here. Is, you adapt and overcome and have patience. Because we got out here, started in, we had a nice flow going. He was tilling, I was scooping and hauling. It was fantastic. One little sound, one click, one snap, and that was it. Done with the tiller. And our system, we had to adapt. We didn't give up. We didn't go, let's run into Lowe's and see what we can find. We can't do that. So part of our experience out here is, besides being badasses, is how much adaptability do we have? How much are we willing to adapt and overcome? All right, it's frustrating. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of frustration. I'm not gonna lie. I got up, I worked out this morning. Good thing I had my 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Check out my post on that. And that being said, like he had his 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's no freaking way if we weren't fueled up. So that, in and of itself, adapting to the delays and having patience is so important. Out here, in life, it is like we can't get pissed. You can't get mad. There's nothing to get mad at. There's no one to get mad at. There just shit happens. So it's our life, yes?
Yeah.
But are you mad?
No, I'm tired.
Are you stressed?
No, I'm tired.
Well, that's okay.
Yep.
Is there any negative energy going on?
Oh no, I'm
Exactly. So there's no stress. We're not pissed off that the effing Craftsman tiller, go figure. Craftsman, you want to send us a new tiller? We're good. But
tired. Craftsman is sold out to China.
of course they did. Made in China.
Yeah, there is no American made, so Craftsman sold out. So all them Craftsman tool warranties and stuff like that are supposedly handled through Lowe's or something like that, but Craftsman is no more what it used to be. So
Prove us wrong.
what do you mean prove us wrong? You want to tell me Craftsman ain't made in China no more?
Exactly. Or that it's American made too.
Yeah. When
This is an American made tool. See? Boom. And I got way more area covered. So
So in all our digging and chopping with the pickaxe, trying to get through rock, and then with the shovel we can't dial. I don't know if the number is 811 or 611 where they tell you where the lines are, the underground lines. This line runs from our tank to the cabin, and I thought I had it marked off as to where it was, but apparently there's another one, so I busted the line with the shovel. So it's before the shut off, so I can't necessarily just shut it off. So we're gonna have a water show here in just a few seconds because I can't just shut the water off. So we're gonna have a little bit of a explosion here. Well, not the proper tool for that, but it worked. Could have gotten up and got my hammer. But once I pull this plug, I had to plug it up to get the water flow to stop because, like I said, the shutoff valve was not working at this particular location. So luckily I have what I needed, but we're gonna make a mess here because I gotta take the plug off, cut the tube, cut the hose. So let's do this. Let's start with this here, and then let's pull this. And let's see if we can get it to go together. Come on. There we go. Success. So one of the skills that I've kind of brought with me, I'm not a licensed plumber or a professional plumber or anything like that, but I spent a lot of time doing plumbing work in various jobs that I've done over the course of a lifetime, from installing appliances to being a homeowner and having to fix your own stuff when it breaks. But you certainly learn that when you're off grid, every skill that you possess, every bit of knowledge that you acquired over the years of doing things is going to come beneficial at some point, because when things break, you know, you can't just call somebody to come fix it for you. It's expensive, and you know, you don't have time to do stuff like that. But I got it patched up, got it fixed. Now I got to remark where we thought it was. I thought it ran that way, but apparently it runs right through where we're digging. But it's fixed, and I'm glad that is over, because earlier I didn't know what I was going to do. But hey, I softened up the ground a little bit with water. This ground was so dry that we were having to breathe in all that dust. But now it's a little moist. It's a little easier to work with too. So, all right, time to keep digging. So I got the line I busted with the shovel fixed. You know, out here the water pressure is not really low. I mean, not really high. It's kind of low. So, you know, it's all gravity feed, and the weight of those tanks there, the water comes out from the bottom. So the weight of the tanks is or the weight of the water in the tanks is what decides the pressure of the water. The tanks are kind of full right now, but this is how we fix it off grid. This is the kind of piping that we use out here. But like I said, I thought this pipe was running somewhere else, but it runs apparently there. Now I know where it's at. I thought it was running outside of the perimeter, but slight miscalculation. So back to work, continue digging. We still got to level out this entire area here. So I don't know if you can see, we've got to take about a foot off the top here, and we've got a slope down there that is kind of a nuisance. It's an obstacle for us because we're trying to build the structure, the greenhouse level, but it looks like we're going to have to contour it to the land, build it in 2 sections, 2 to 3 sections, where this east wall is up higher, up taller than the west wall. So it's going to be built in a couple of different heights. So we'll get it figured out somehow. But back to work. So now that I fixed my screw up with cutting the water line, I get back to work. But it's amazing because now that the ground is wet, it's so much easier to work with. When the ground was dry, it was hard work. So busting that line was actually kind of a blessing in disguise as far as work goes, because I wasn't scooping dirt up like this when it was wet. I mean, when it was dry. So, but I like the excitement of being out here, you know, and never knowing what exactly the day holds. I can plan what I want to do. I can plan how I want to do it, but doesn't mean it's going to turn out that way for me. So, you know, before we came out here, I had all these expectations of what it was going to be like out here, and you know, figured I'd be doing a lot of wood chopping, and which I still got to do. Got several trees I've got to chop down or cut down. Walked the property and found probably about 15 to 18 standing deads that need to come down. So those will be coming down here. May, what are we at, the end of May? So June is when we should start concerning ourselves with gathering firewood for the winter, and just kind of start maybe one weekend, cut a tree down, chop it up. Another weekend, cut another tree down, chop it up. So we've got all that to do, because we've got to prepare for winter as well too. And that's, I guess for me, that's the excitement of being out here is even though, you know, you're preparing for your bounty, planting your gardens, getting the chickens raised, getting the chickens set up, and making sure that all that stuff is good to go. There's other things that you have to plan along for at the same time, so it never gets boring. And a wise man once said, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. If it's not one thing, it's another. And I'm starting to grasp that concept that in reality, if it's not one thing out here, it's another. And you know, that's why from cows busting through the fence to, you know, me accidentally busting a water line, and then getting out here and the tiller blowing up. You know, we were going to till with the tiller, but that's out of the question because the piston rod snapped off and punched a hole through the cylinder casing. So the tiller's shot. So all in one day, I went from blowing up a tiller to busting a water line, and but I'm okay with that. I'm not frustrated. Everything's manageable. Everything is gonna get done.